Today I'd like to talk about a mammoth book, The Winners, by popular author Fredrik Backman. And when I say mammoth, I mean almost 700 pages. Fredrik Backman is a Swedish author with many books to his credit, and I previously read a couple of his now 9 fiction books, A Man Called Ove and Anxious People. I was immediately drawn to his style. He's just a master at character development and often creates characters that are a little quirky, to say the least. But he's really able to pinpoint human foibles and the human condition. He's also a pro at building emotion and life lessons into his stories. The Winners is the third in a trilogy. The preceding two are Beartown and Us Against You. Even if you haven't read the preceding 2 books, The Winners can stand on by itself, as Fredrik Backman skillfully builds in the backstory without the reader even realizing there were 2 prior novels. I imagine, though, that reading the 2 previous books would provide an even greater emotional attachment to the long cast of characters. Now, I've not read either Beartown or Us Against You, but the storyline starts in the small town of Beartown, where their junior hockey team is fighting for a championship, but the whole community and hockey world as they know it is uprooted by the sexual assault of a girl by the star hockey player. This splits the town and the hockey team, with key players going to play for the neighboring rival, the town of Head. The rivalry between the 2 towns intensifies to dangerous proportions before some type of reconciliation can start to take place. Both Beartown and Head each seem enmeshed in their local hockey clubs to the point they forget or deny all the problems that are going on in life. Now, The Winners occurs 2 years after the events of Beartown and Us Against You, when a huge storm occurs, followed by the death of a prominent citizen. It's like the Band-Aid is ripped off and opens up all types of wounds that need healing. It seems that the 2 towns are stuck in a rut with issues so huge that they don't know how to handle them all, or they don't even realize they have issues. 2 young adults, Maya and Benji, return to Beartown after leaving to forge a life elsewhere, far from the events of 2 years ago. Maya having been sexually assaulted by the star hockey player Kevin, and Benji, who was previously Kevin's best friend but supported Maya and then later came out as gay. As the author states, Maya left to go somewhere, whereas Benji just left, and again, as the author says, she sought answers in the light and he in the darkness. This is a book about sports heroes and hero worship, about people not being who they seem to be. It's about victimization and about finding your way after huge losses. It's about unrealized dreams, the haves and the have-nots, and the outcasts and the alienated. It's about denial and stubbornness and relationships behind closed doors. It's about finding yourself and losing yourself. And it's about acts of desperation. It's about healing and forgiveness. It's about how far each person and each community will go, good or bad, to either preserve the status quo or to make necessary changes. And the book shows just how everyone in small towns are intertwined, and maybe that's why Fredrik Backman chose to have such a large cast of characters. And the characters are a reminder that none of us are all good or all bad. I actually kept track of all the characters on a sheet of paper so I didn't miss anything. All the characters stand out for a reason. Really, there are just so many wonderful storylines in this book that an overview doesn't do it justice. The title, The Winners, is an appropriate choice. What does it really mean to win, and who really wins in the long run? If you've been connected to organized sports or to some similar interest, you might be extra interested in this book. To me, The Winners is a huge cautionary tale to parents, athletes, and communities to keep perspective, because things can really get out of hand and dirty when we become so enmeshed in one thing that we lose sight of reality and set people high on pedestals, whether it's hockey or some other passion. As usual for Fredrik Backman, the writing is brilliant, and this book is loaded with words of wisdom that far transcend the hockey arena. Is the book too long? That's for you to decide. I did think it was repetitive in its themes a bit, but it was also easy and fast to read. The ending is strong and just might leave you in tears. This book could do with a trigger warning. There are some graphic scenes and issues of sexual assault, mental health, violence, and death. I think this book is well worth the read. It's receiving rave reviews for the most part because Fredrik Backman, well, he turns out winners. The Winners by Fredrik Backman.